I always say hello everyone in the beginning because my streams are being saved in YouTube, and if someone's going to rewatch, I don't want to just stay silent until the viewers come over. So, hello everyone. And I was thinking quite a lot about what to do regarding that live stream. I don't do trainings all the time, right? So I'm not streaming trainings all the time, logically. So the rest time, I'm always trying to think and come up with the new stuff, the topics. What should I stream about? You know, there are different things I already tried. And one of the types of lives I do is, let's talk about important, because I believe there are some important topics, there's some important common issues with us, with people, and it's always helpful to talk a little bit more about it and maybe find some answers to the questions and help each other with those kind of things. Anyways, today's topic is the feeling of importance. And there is a quote on the thumbnail of this live stream from Dale Carnegie. Let me remember how he exactly said that. Tell me where you get your feeling of importance from, and I'll tell you what you are. So it is fact that we all want to be noticed, accepted, we want to belong somewhere, we want to feel important. Sometimes it goes beyond, we want to feel great, we want to be better than others. And those things are completely natural. The question though is, how do you navigate that part of the human nature in the life? How do we do that? How that feeling, if it's managed incorrectly, can ruin relationships, ruin opportunities, ruin pretty much everything, or vice versa, how it can become a superpower. So let me say hi to everyone now. Interesting. Today, judge in court got angry on me for suggestion. Interesting. I don't know what is the topic. Hi, ma'am. Hi everyone. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, we're gonna try to stick mostly with the topic. So more people usually in my live streams, it peaks. When I do talking content, it peaks around 70, 80 people at the time watching in real time. And we're just gonna, let's start having the conversation, and more people can join and leave their opinion in the chat and engage in the conversation. Well, I'm sorry, Ayush, that you feel sad. I don't know what the situation again, but I hope everything's going to be fine, and I hope it's manageable. Okay, raise the hands who wants to feel noticed, important. Like, I'm just going to talk about myself. I'm live streaming on YouTube. I'm trying to grow my social media presence. Of course, there is some part to it I want to be noticed. I want that channel to become successful, keep growing. And I think it's completely natural. But there are different ways. There are different types of contents, there are different types of presence, different information out there. And different people choose their path, how they want to establish themselves out there. And I would say there is nothing wrong wanting to be noticed and actually dare to say it out loud that, you know what, I'm ready to be not like others. But to me personally, that means that it's more responsibility. It's a bigger responsibility. It is certain changes in the lifestyle that has to be, I cannot just sit on the couch and eat whatever I want, just be there and having no goals, just follow a called like very chill and very relaxed lifestyle. To me, I understand if I want to be a motivator, maybe at some point a role model for some people, I gotta embrace that responsibility. I gotta be smart about my presence. I gotta have to be careful what I say, how I say, to carefully deliver the message I have, which is, if you look at my channel, it's about training, it's about lifestyle, but it's not only classic fitness, it's both boxing and sprinting. That's what I do. So it's learning the skill set and talk about things like that, relationships between people, how to create a win-win situation, how to take that human nature and put it in a positive context and make something good out of it. So today we're going to talk about this topic, the importance, the feeling of importance. So feel free to share and be open about it. How does it feel for you? Do you feel important when your spouse is, your partner is giving full attention to you? Do you feel important when you go and perform, let's say you do some music or performing arts in front of people and you get a lot of attention? Do you feel important when your parents acknowledge you and nod at you and tell you that, okay, finally you did great? It's like everything comes from the childhood. So it's same like everything else. It comes from the childhood. The way we develop that sense of importance, it's heavily laced on our early environment we've been raised and we've been exposed to in our earlier years. So feel free to engage into that and share your experiences. Why don't you stream on Twitch? You did not design the stream platform well. Well, YouTube is growing. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I started getting monetized, and it's gradually getting there, and I'm just trying to keep it up consistent. But I agree, Twitch and Kik are great platforms. There's multi-streaming options for the platforms that can multi-stream, and more and more people ask about it. So I guess me and my husband are gonna have to look into it deeper. How many times I found a niche like music, movie, shows, anything really. Was there day one, small but now a huge ship. Well, I didn't exactly understand what was the point, but well, it sounds that you like to explore. If that was what you're referring to, that it's you're like just discovering new things and new stuff, and it feels like to me actually, when I discovered rock genre, my first song that I heard and I was blew my mind was Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water, like that, heavy riff in the beginning of the song, and I was like, I felt different. I don't know how to explain that, but even like getting back to this topic, feeling of importance. I was a teenager, I was 13 years old, quite nerdy. I was okay with kids because I was doing arts, but I was, at times I was on my own, kind of a little bit outside from the crowd. And when I discovered that music and the deepness of it, and it's felt something out of this world, I felt more important. That might sound selfish, but I'm trying to describe the feeling, that how it felt, that it felt that not many kids, teenagers of that same age were listening to the same music. There are a few, and it made me feel like I'm exceptional. So there are many definitions. There are different psychologists, philosophers saying that what is the biggest, most important feeling that a human being is craving. Some say, I think Freud was saying about sexual desire and the feeling of greatness. There are some others who also agree that it's feeling of greatness. And Dale Carnegie was saying that it's a feeling of importance, feeling important. There are also different interpretation, feeling belong to some group, but that sometimes kind of, that those feelings can vary. Some people want to be accepted in the bigger groups, that belong to the bigger tribes, let's call it that way. Some people crave maybe a little bit different form of importance. They want to, they're ready to step aside and give up on the majority to enter the minority level and, I don't know, become something unique. So those, back to the topic, like how you get the feeling of your importance indicates on what you are. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. How are you? I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Are you Russian? No, I'm Georgian. I'm Georgian. I'm doing sports, specifically boxing, sprinting. You can check out my channel. Mostly my videos and my streams are regarding that. But sometimes we have talks like this, basically. So feel free to join for this stream as well. How much do you make a month on YouTube? Well, that's my first month, and it's not even full month. I think it's been a little bit less than a couple of weeks that I started getting monetized. As it hit $100. It's not much yet, but it is a long-term project, because with YouTube, I've been doing that for almost the entire year without getting monetized, because there is a long-term goal that me and my husband are following. And YouTube, growing that YouTube channel is one part of it. Yes, so my husband is also responding in the chat, so we can follow up. You're different. Not many people feel the same as you. Korn, Jonathan Davis is and will be my favorite vocalist. Well, fair enough. He's great. Spoke to me when I was breaking. Yeah. Well, I think sometimes we have a self-discovery journey, and that happens very often for music, art, acquiring new information, understanding some things on a deeper level, and that kind of feeds our ego to the point of we feel more aware, we feel more like we understand this world, this life, whether it's true or not. I'm just talking about the feeling. And then it really feeds the feeling of the sense of the importance. But I would say this is positive way to acquire that feeling. If you put that into, and you gain that, and you feed your feeling of importance through self-work, actually learning valuable information, culturally educating yourself, I believe in consequences. So you do something and you have a positive, rather positive or negative consequence. And that brings you positive consequences. So I believe that it's one of the good ways to manage. I speak Russian, Georgian, and her mom is Ukrainian, Russian. Yes, that's my what's my husband is saying here. Look like my aunt. Oh, I mean, so sometimes we resemble each other. A professional boxer, not yet, but I'm training already to get competitive again, working my endurance. Got to get to the competitive shape, so-called, and within the next few months, it's going to be clear whether I get back to the amateur boxing in Georgia again, and I start from there, which is a good point to start. But if we travel a lot and it's not going to work with the federation, maybe directly go to the pro boxing. Whether or not, whatever happens, I'm looking forward to get back on the competitive level, and obviously show the journey to you on this YouTube. Merab is Georgian pride. Yes, he is, and he is he's great. I love Merab, respect him hugely, and most of Georgians love him as well. What's your favorite artist and shows? Well, I mean, depends. Well, like vocalists, for example, in the music, there are many. Like same with the fighters and boxers. Like it's hard to pick just few because there are many. I really like Beth Hart. I really like feel her music, feel her drive, and her lifestyle is she's actually at a good spot in her life. She also married, and she loves, like she's in a good relationship. I believe that at certain age it can indicate on you as the person how mature you are. But her music is, she can be different versions of herself, and her voice is something. I'm really into powerful voices and like very strong blues, rock, jazz type of voices. In the male, I mean, I can tell you bands, like all the like Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin. Robert Plant is one of the greatest vocals to me. I love Chris Cornell, one of the guys that come to my mind. Like his voice is one of my favorite voices out there. So it's like Ozzy Osbourne, rest in peace, Prince of Darkness. I mean, his voice, very unique, very cold, but very deep at the same time. So yeah, there are many. And when it comes to movies, I started watching more movies together with my husband. When it comes to the movies, as much as I think it's a good for cultural education, I really didn't watch that many movies before meeting my husband. One of my all-time favorites is Escape from Shawshank. It's a great movie, and I would say I like older movies more. Same as the music. Andrew Ford, thank you very much. I appreciate the donations in the super chat. You're cute. Thank you. I guess I am. Yeah, shout out to you guys. Thank you for. As I said, like I'm a little bit shy when it comes to nations. I still don't know exactly how to react. But I also encourage you, if you do like a super chat donation and your comments pop up, feel free to ask some good questions. If there's something that you want to know, obviously in a respectful manner, I'm going to happily respond to that. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Sad about Chris, and he was Ozzy's favorite singer. I didn't know that exactly, and yeah, I mean Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington situations, very very sad. But unfortunately, that industry is very heavy, and you can easily go on the darker side. So yeah, you gotta be careful if you really want to get into that industry, start a band, become worldwide famous. There are musicians, there are artists who try to avoid abusing of the substances, they try to avoid alcohol, and they're more disciplined, and they usually end up in a better way. What's you and your husband's favorite colors? I draw and I paint, so I like combination of colors. I think black and white is technically a tone, not a color, but let's call it a color. So black and white combination. I like. Let me think. What else? What are other colors I like? I like purple. I like orange. I like blue and green and turquoise. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, many colors. Georgian is under Russia, not officially, and hope that never ever happens again. But there are some political issues right now at the moment, so it's more like a proxy influence, but not officially. I'm from Georgia, guys. The country of wine, of fighters and warriors and mountains. Yeah, I'm all the way up in the chat, guys. Thank you for being here. It's highly appreciated. Broke because no super likes from you, mate. That's what my husband says. I mean, guys, everything, all the donations really help to grow the channel. So, but I'm not gonna sit and force you to do that. Like, just feel free to stay in the chat and ask questions without. Anyways, as I said, I'm quite shy when it comes to those things, and I highly appreciate any super chat support. Why you succumb? Show us your anger. We'll love that. I think people are so angry on social media already. More than enough people are so angry. So I gotta. I'm quite chill. I don't really have that much anger in me. Do you know Merab? I don't know him. I don't know him personally, but one of his friends is on his team, and they live together, and he's like one of his closer team members around Merab. I know him. So Georgia is such a small country. Like you know them, and I know some other people who know him personally, trained with him. It just ended up we never trained in the same gym because he was already off to US at the times when I've been training in the boxing, MMA, wrestling gyms. I'm doing boxing. I did boxing as the primary sport, but you make a lot of friends in the community, and you just start training together sometimes and invite each other to each other's gyms. So that was a fun times. And yeah, as I said, Georgia is a small country, small community, and especially if you're in the fighting community, wrestling, striking, you kind of know each other a little bit. If not directly, then you know someone who knows them. There are some amazing MMA fighters in your country. The new ones are coming up too. So the guy Levan Chocheli, that's his name. Him I know personally. We trained in the same gym at some point. He's a Bellator champion, and now I think he's gonna have a debut in UFC soon. So quite excited about that too. And he's on I've seen Merab's social media and my friends' social media, so I can see him being training with them. Maybe not all the time, but I've seen him in their circle because Georgians, because it's a small country, small community. Merab is known for helping other Georgian fighters and actually helping them to build their career as well. You're blessed to be able to train with them. Absolutely. There's so many things I learned in the earlier years, and even now, I talk to some people. I talk to some boxers. I have some boxer friends whom I've been talking, and some fighters, and yeah, just wishing each other all the best, trying to share some experiences, some insights on the different stuff. You gotta do that when you're a small country, when you are. Here you are. There is your country and the rest of the world, and it's like teeny tiny, 3.6 million total. You gotta stick together. You look like a Becky Lynch. I was waiting for that one, guys. It's Georgian rugby players are absolute monsters, huge players. Rugby. is one of the strongest sports in Georgia. So on the scale, if you put it in hierarchy, I think judo is the best. We have so many world champions, Olympic champions, the different medalists, both men and women, in judo. So Varlam Liparteliani and Eter Liparteliani, she's a female. They're not related, but it's like they're coming from the mountain region of Georgia, so it's very common surname there. And wrestling is big. Now MMA is coming up quite a lot. Football is getting better. So if you know Khvicha Kvaratskhelia and Georgia Mamartashvili, and there's some others, Georgia, the other players too, I just forgot their name. And yeah, rugby, I think I would put rugby after judo and wrestling. I would put rugby, I think. Hi, how are you? I was saying, now this is more exciting to see a talkative person who don't say for everything. It takes some practice. English is my third language, by the way, guys, so sometimes I tend to get stuck in my head. But it's been so far getting better and better and better since 2020. That's when I learned it, and it's constant practice. My husband speaks English too, so it's like 24/7 practice. And I think since I started live streaming, it also got better, way better. I do kickboxing and MMA. You seem to like it a lot. Yes, my primary focus is boxing. I learned and committed a lot when it comes to boxing. Let's say that way. Everything else, I know how to do the movement, like like kicks and like head kick, low kick. So when it comes to striking, I did a little bit of BJJ, so know some of the stuff, but I'm definitely an amateur and definitely an enthusiast when it comes to those. Boxing is more like I'm the most proficient in boxing. Shakira, well, I've never been told that, but I think she's cool. I don't know much about her, but I like Mirab, but I like Ilya more. I mean, I don't blame you. Ilya is like this new generation of MMA fighters whose techniques are getting even sharper, and boxing is like another level. And they like age group, so he's like 26, 27, 28, I'm not sure exactly. Mirab is more like I really do love Mirab's personality. I think he's a sweetheart, and pretty much who I know, everyone, like he seems to be like that. He's not really playing, and because we have common acquaintances and common friends, they all say that he's amazing. Like he helped so many Georgians and so many people around him. So he's, I think personality-wise, Mirab is more humble. But you cannot blame Ilya. Ilya is trying to build up his brand, and he perfectly understands that he has to act on, like, if he's being a little bit cocky at times, he has to prove that. And so far, he's been doing that. So it's a little bit tricky path to going down, because if you crush big. But so far, he's doing amazing. He's holding that responsibility and that pressure very well. So I like both, I'll tell you, in a different ways. Hi from New Zealand, hi. Come to Dagestan, sister, for 2-3 years. Well, I actually been in Dagestan, Makachkala, one of the competitions. It was like they took me for like a sparrings there, because I was 17 and it was 18 plus, so they didn't admit me on the competition, but in boxing. But I did some sparrings there and got some good experience. And I remember it was interesting, it felt like Soviet Union. Like, no offense, it was very interesting. People were very welcoming, very nice. One of the volunteers we had, he was Dagestani boy, but he had great grandma from Georgia, so that's why he asked them to, so he could be a volunteer with Georgians. And there was a nice beach. It's a Caspian Sea, quite a nice beach. But like buses and a lot of infrastructure, it felt so like you would be back in the past. But I'm talking about that was 2017, so it's like years ago. Seems like the average Georgian male is bulky size, while the shoulders as well. Maybe it's part due to environment and foods eaten. Yeah, I guess so. Well, I can tell you there are a lot of Georgians that they're not trained, they're skinny or chubby like everywhere else. But I believe that Georgians have a good genetics for training. If they start training, they end up quite solid. How do you condition yourself to get used to being hit? You just start from do a lot of light technical sparrings, but light technical sparring doesn't mean that you're not hit to your face at all. You're just not getting hit with the full force, because that is not very good for your brain. But when it comes to like a surface, you really feel it in your skin, and it just with the gloves, it's also obvious. It numbs it out, and gradually just you warm up, you're getting used to it, and yeah, that's it. Even now, since I haven't done sparring in a while, but like I'm probably gonna be comfortable with the light technical sparrings, and from there gonna have to keep building it up gradually. Yeah, everyone wants to talk about UFC, upcoming fights, DDP versus Chimaev, and GDM versus Islam, and what is Pereira and Ankalaev, second fight, Kyla and Amanda. Yes, guys, yes. Feel free to talk about it. You can also talk about it in the chat, but I'm gonna still go up through the some of the comments, and still let's talk about this painful topic, like having that ego, feeling important, because we cannot avoid that. Okay, guys, I believe that it's a human nature. It's a part of the human nature, and I think it's interesting to share with each other how do we navigate it, how do we use it as our advantage, but also being able to build the relationships, being able to be likable to people, make them feel good around ourselves, etc. Okay, hello from UK. Hi guys. I'm gonna keep scrolling a little bit faster, okay? Thank you very much for all of your engagement, okay? Levan Saginashvili, yeah, Georgian Hulk, thank you for mentioning. He's an arm wrestler. And yeah, I met him. He used to train in this gym where a lot of athletes been training, and I was a trainer there, a fitness coach. It's called Champions Academy. It was in 2018-19. And he was very, very polite, very humble. That was my impression of him. Okay, we'll keep scrolling up, guys. Okay, I'm all the way up to the top, I think. An actual intelligent streamer, what is going on? Well, the world is changing. I think a lot of shifts are happening. So even on the social medias, I think I've seen some other smart people, like more and more smart and intelligent people appearing, live streams, making content. So to me, I love YouTube platform. I use it for many purposes, including educational. So I'm very happy about that little thing, like that I noticed. When it comes to the crypto stuff, well, unfortunately, I'm not the right person to ask that things about. My husband is doing crypto, and he's like, if he's gonna respond in a chat, you can ask him, but not me. So you're always ready for a fight wearing boxing stuff. Ironically enough, when we move a lot, we always have, very frequently, we have a basic equipment. Are you Irish? No, I'm Georgian. Don't talk about boxing at that time. Boxing is joke. Boxing is the sport of the gentleman. So don't disrespect one of my favorite sports. It's used nearly every night up in London. Well, I heard some stuff and it doesn't sound fun. What are your diaries about? I called it Red Hat Diaries, obviously, because, well, it doesn't seem that much, but technically I'm Ginger Hat, but Red Hat just sounds better. And diaries is, I just had to start from the easiest type of content that I could produce. It was a lower quality camera and all that kind of stuff, so I just decided to record my progress. I started from sprinting. Then I did a little bit traveling content because we started moving a little bit more around, me and my husband. Then when we moved to Vietnam now, I switched more to boxing, and I'm doing sprinting occasionally, just don't have access to the stadium anymore because of their weird policies. But yeah, it's basically about training diaries. It's about my own experience, but also sharing a little bit of acquired knowledge and experience that I have with people. And lately started doing live streams. So now the live streams is like one of the a moving mechanism for this channel, and just trying to keep it consistent. But also, guys, I'm looking forward to do a quality long, the horizontal type of content, proper videos, because I understand, guys, it's gotta be engaging, it's gotta be interesting. And now, after a year of doing all of that kind of stuff, editing, learning a lot of things, I think I can pull it off. And we're going to Kuwait in the end of this month. We're also going to travel a little bit around Vietnam and in this month. So I'm gonna try to make that content, a little bit of traveling content. Then I'll do Kuwait. It's gonna be very interesting because we are visiting our friends, our friend specifically, it's his family, and our friend who is a Red Bull athlete in, he was doing like Rally Dakar, motocross, basically motorcycling in the desert. It was like super awesome stuff. All his children do that. He has four children, one of them is girl, all of them ride motorcycles. So there might be some very interesting content coming up, and I'm not gonna miss that chance to actually make a proper videos. I'm gonna live stream, of course, as well, but I'm also gonna take my time and do some proper videos, and I hope you're gonna be able to judge by yourself. Your husband train MMA? No, he used to be in the extreme sport. He probably was gonna respond in the chat. Yeah, he did. Guys, thank you very much for coming in. Okay. I hope you have safe travels. Enjoy yourselves. Pat, thank you very much. It's very sweet of you. What is your channel about? If you look it up, it's going to show a lot of boxing. Lately, a lot of live streaming, but quite a big chunk of my live streams is boxing training, boxing basics, footwork day, heavy back training, all that kind of stuff. Some endurance, VO2 max training. I have some endurance training video live streams as well. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia. Your accent is so cool. Hello from Cincinnati, Ohio. I never heard about a place called Cincinnati, but I know where it's Ohio. Well, hi, and thank you. It's just it's a Frankenstein of, like a mix, a mix of the, I don't know what I write. I mean, I'm Georgian, I'm fluent in Russian because my My mother is Slavic and she's half Russian, half Ukrainian. And I learned English myself, so my self-taught. A lot of American TV shows, a lot of British TV shows for listening, a lot of generic English, some Australian. So I think it's just a mix of everything. My husband, Chris, says, Diana is her name, she's Georgian. Yes, that's true. Oh my God, I saw your singing video. You sing well as you box. I watched it a few seconds ago. RSS, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, some people don't exactly like how I sing, but it's okay. Like, I don't really get bothered because it's a matter of training. Everything is trainable. Everything is learnable. Can't watch this because she looks like my ex. I'm sorry. Hi Indonesia, hi everyone. Hi girl, much love from San Diego. Hi Todd, hope you're doing well. Hi California, a lot of US. I don't know, somehow it ended up, maybe thanks to my funny English accents, but it ended up that my audience, 30%, more than 30% of my audience is American. So that's a cool thing. Okay, finally, Daniel, I need to go. I hope you're still here, Daniel. I need to go, but wanted to hear your thoughts about the need to feel important. My thoughts is that it's a natural. It comes from the necessity of belong in the tribe, because we are tribal species. We could not survive alone, if you really think about it, because we're hunting in the groups, we were maintaining the tribe structure as a groups, and then we transformed into society and higher levels of the society, and that it transformed into the sense of like you want to be acknowledged, you want to feel important. And for different people, it's just a different way how they get that feeling. For some people, it's enough to have a clingy relationship. I'm not saying it's a bad thing necessarily. For some people, it just works the way that their partner gives all attention to them, and and it works for them. It feeds their ego. They feel important. All is good. That's more like a primitive level of it. I'm not saying that. I think it's a natural feeling as well to want your closer circle, especially your partner, their validation. That's completely normal thing. But I'm talking if it's the only thing you get your feeling of importance. When we go to the higher levels, feeling of importance comes to helping others. Like you want to give away a lot of things. You want to help others. You want to give away information, aid. Charities exist for a reason. You give away that money, and here you make the life better place with your actions technically, but you also feed your feeling of importance, and there is nothing wrong. Like I think you gotta find the ways to do that. Even if you are, we all have narcissistic traits because of those fluctuations of our ego, and that sometimes we feel lack of importance, sometimes we feel that we're very important. But even for extreme narcissists who tend to do a lot to feel important all the time, it still works. It's still about how you navigate it. If you manage to get that feeling from the actions, from the behavior that brings good for society, for other people, it makes the environment safer, a better place. That doesn't matter. Let's be honest. We all want to feel important, but if we can combine it with something valuable, I would say that is the goal. George is so pretty. Lines, I just don't realize it. Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I love you. And Alexander Usyk. I love Alexander Usyk. I love his accent. He's like, what? He was saying, what was the last thing I saw? Oh, it's like a motivation. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is better. Like, I love his accent. He's one of the best boxers of all time. Now he's getting on that level. He already got to that level, but the guy is absolutely a gem. You like Merab? I love Merab. He's the gem as well. Are you a bodybuilder? No, I'm not. Gamar Joba, Chris. Gamar Joba. Rogorchar. Genat Svale. Have you heard that from Merab or other Georgians? Genat Svale. Genat Svale is a very interesting word. So it's like you have bless you, right? We say in English, we say bless you. But Genat Svale is not exactly bless you. It kind of means the like same positive context. But at the same time, it means, the word means that I will I will put myself in your place. Genatzvale, like I will substitute you. So it's like genatzvale, shenatzvleba. So it's like the root word is about changing the places. And it means more like, if there's something bad with you, probably that's what I think. If there is something negative happening, it's like I'll change the places with you, kind of thing. And it just ended up to be like a bless you kind of concept. Do you want a video editor? Well, you know what? You can email me on the email. The email is in my YouTube bio. So if you have that kind of offers, guys, like video editing, stuff like that, you know, just send all the information, your fees, everything like that, and we'll look into it. I think you're beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Trying to take care of myself. Do you like Thag Rose? I like Thag Rose for the same reason. I think she's a great fighter. But also, I think she's been through a lot, and she remained humble, and one of the most humble fighters out there. I haven't heard her doing the trash talk or anything. Like, you remember what was against Joanna Jędrzejczyk like a few years ago? Like, Joanna was literally trying to play the cocky fighter, a champion, you know, humiliate her, and she was just stone cold. And you know what happened to her. So that was one of the most satisfying episodes. Not like I dislike Joanna, I think she was also phenomenal. Just saying that episode between those two was quite satisfying. You know, let's be honest, we all, that's also a feeling of importance. Let's tie it up to the topic. We love when somebody who's cocky is getting humbled. Like someone very, very arrogant, acting very arrogant, are getting humbled. That is one of the most satisfying things for pretty much everyone. Even like industries, movies, like a lot of things being built around that, you know, trigger that feeling that satisfaction, someone is put in their place. Because as much as we want to feel important, we don't like others to show that they're more important than everyone else. That's somehow it's a paradox. Okay, I'll keep scrolling up, guys. Fact that you chose to get into boxing despite being so gorgeous is quite commendable, as most pretty girls choose the easy way, which is to encash on their looks. Thank you very much for pointing this out. I appreciate it. It has to do a lot also with lifestyle, with how it comes in the childhood. Like I didn't glow up. I started glowing up quite recently since I met my husband. Like I started growing my hair longer. Like I got some eyebrows. Like I have very bad eyebrows, so I got some like very natural, permanent work here in Asia. I got my braces, I cut some weight, eating, like I used to be vegetarian, and that didn't really agree with me. Now I'm eating a balanced, good diet, and all of those things, plus training, obviously, on all the rest of the stuff, good sleep, and just not being angry and being quite chill about a lot of things. So not really stressing emotionally too much. So all that kind of stuff brought me into the light that, yeah, I look way better, but I didn't look that way even a few years ago before meeting my husband. So it's been 3 years, and before that I had 8-9 extra kilograms. It was always hard to cut that amount. Like I would not go like heavier than certain weight, but it was like I couldn't get to my goal weight. My facial structure was different. Like I had chubby cheeks, my teeth were narrow. I'm gonna make that video. You're gonna see like by yourself. I was looking for my old pictures the other day, just to make that like a collage to show you that like looks are adjustable, and it really has to do with many factors. But also I appreciate what you're saying, because yes, I never focused to try to be pretty kind of thing. One of the reasons is maybe I wasn't the prettiest girl at the time, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus on more of the other stuff. They're gonna make me look more appealing and make me more attractive to people and likable. Because let's be honest, apart from all the personal work, and that we really genuinely want to dig into ourselves and become the better version, it also comes from back to the feeling of importance. We want to be attractive to people. We want to be appealing to people. So to me, it kind of, I figured out, and looks at that point, I was like average. And I was like, okay, maybe if I do sports, and I want to be strong. I'm like the oldest child in my family when it was a little bit dysfunctional, and the only sister. So I was like stepping a little bit into a masculine roles as well. And I was like, okay, I want to be stronger, but I also know that, not that many girls do that, and and there are certain environments. Yes, not a lot of people might like me there, but there might be certain people who is going to be more like, okay, she's a fighter. I respect that. So when I was a teenager, when I was in my younger ages, I'm just sharing the structure of the thought that I used to have, and the results are the results. Like, it doesn't matter how you think, doesn't matter how selfish and egotistic it is. If it ends up in the good results and good consequences, not only for you, but for people around you, you're not doing anything wrong. Yeah, as I said, video editor, email please, and we'll talk to you, okay? Okay, I keep scrolling up, guys. Martha Kartveli, Khar. Okay, Martha Kartveli, you are. Well, it's your name. Your name doesn't doesn't really indicate that you're Georgian. So, Shen Martha Kartveli, Khar. Like, are you really a Georgian, or it's just that you're using a Google Translate? She has amazing genes. That was what's the girl's name? Sydney Sweeney's the thing, yeah? That's if I'm not mistaken. Who are you? It's like this meme. Who are you? A boxer, singer, dancer, or YouTuber. I'm also an artist. You can look up. There are a couple streams already where I drew Joan Jones and Ben Askren in different streams. So I'm a portraitist as well. That's one of the reasons I started doing YouTube. You know what? Like, I didn't know how to do that exactly, thanks to my husband's help and encouragement and support. I finally did it, and that's the thing. Like, I always been few things, and I didn't know how to put that all together, but I'm at the stage of my life that kind of starts, it's getting together. So it's easier when you have a platform and you can show your different skills and different talents. So I think it's quite amazing way to do it. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia, the country. Georgian, mother is Russian, equals pure beauty and power. And well, she's half Russian, half Ukrainian, meaning that maybe some of my boxing genes come from, I'm joking, it's obviously boxing genes, not genes, but like skills it's acquired by training and stuff. But you know that Ukrainians are one of the best now in the world when it comes to boxing. Okay, we keep scrolling up. It's always nice to see arrogant people eat humble pie. That's what I'm saying. This is such a satisfactory, like we get so much satisfied when we see someone arrogant falling down. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's also human nature. As much as we want to be important, when we see others like trying to be more important than us, we're like, what? Who is that bitch? Like, who is that, you know? So we already have a resentment. And I think that comes also because of you have hierarchies, you have competition within, doesn't matter, genders, within the people, within the fields, you always have competition. And it's like having a concurrence, you know? So I think that is kind of tied to that part of our primitive instinct to, we want to survive, we don't want them to survive kind of thing. There is also, I mean, when you, if we put a human being as an intelligent creature, and we combine intelligence with good intelligence with our nature, like I really like successful people. Like I think that if you just want someone at the good place to fall down, then you're just jealous. And that is also human nature. It's fine. It's like it's a primitive instinct, but that's why we're talking about feeling importance. It's about how you navigate it. It's about where you get it from. If you get it from, if you feel good about someone who's a good person, and they just you're just cannot stand them just because they're better than you, objectively, and you're feeling jealous, and you're happy when something happens to them, then you're at the most primitive level of the, like, you know, getting the ways how you get the feeling of importance. Like imagine how shallow it is to feeling better about yourself by, you know, trying to, I don't know, be mean to someone unreasonably, to kill someone's motivation to be better. That happens in the live streams too. Like very often people just say, I mean, just give up. You're not good enough anyways, you know, kind of thing. I heard that. And to me, it's so weird. It's like, after reading it, it's like, why would you do that? Is it like it gives that satisfaction to them, but it's like it's like a primitive level of it. So the higher you get with the intelligence, the more self-work you put in your own self, the more things you experience yourself, the more empathy you develop. Like empathy is the indicator of intelligence, emotional intelligence. If you're having empathy, you can feel you can put yourself in other people's shoes as well. And at that point, no, you're like, a lot of things change about you. The way how you make yourself feel important, all of a sudden it's heavily lays on you wanting to make others happy without putting yourself into a situation where people take an advantage of you. You can give away a lot, but also be able to always have just enough for yourself to be self-sustained and not letting anyone to use your take your kindness as a weakness, right? But as I said, the more intelligent you become, the more empathy you develop, your feeling of importance comes from doing charity, helping someone, giving someone, like, you know, just helping some person, give them some motivation, to help them to become a little bit better. You know, be patient with them, those kind of things. So to me and my husband, we love helping people, and that feels us makes us feel important. Like this concept of more important than someone else. Don't really look at it that much anymore. Obviously, you compare yourself to others and you compare yourself to the majority. For example, when it comes to emotional control, I'm often looking at people that, because I trained myself quite a lot with emotional control, still not perfect, but got to a certain point when I see and when I witness hysterical people and they like, and even in the social medias, and they present themselves as something they're special, and they get their feeling of importance from the social media validation. I'm like, you're not really that important. Like, yes, I have those thoughts, right? So I feel that I'm better than them. But when I was thinking about it, is it like the trait? Can you avoid that trait? Can you just have a loophole around it? What can you do about it? Because I don't want to be like that. I don't want to feel that, oh, I'm better than someone. And I don't want that to grow into an unhealthy arrogance. But then I realized what is the important milestone to it. If you cannot neglect, you cannot throw that feeling of importance away. But if you establish that your words are not enough, it's not just you can say about yourself, oh, I'm like better than others, or it's like being like a self-proclaimed better than others. That's not how it works. If you really want to be better than others, if you really want to feel that feeling of and satisfy your ego in that way, you gotta do the work. What do I mean by doing the work? Most of people don't exercise. If you look at the worldwide statistics, most of people don't do that. You exercise, you get fit, and you become at a higher and higher level of your fitness. Most of people, they tend to fall under the negative emotions. Anger, hysteria, frustration, misery, and they do it quite often. So their emotional background and those things fluctuate. What do you think? What do? You train yourself. You meditate. You read the literature about itself. You talk to yourself, and you work with yourself consistently to become a little bit better at it. So you actually put the work to get better at something. And at that point, at least that feeling, if you say that, okay, now I feel better than a lot of people, like I'm better than a lot of people, at least it's not just because you're saying it, at least you put the work into certain things. And there's always going to be someone better than you, always going to be someone supreme than you, and there's always going to be someone who is not as good as you. You're always going to be both. And that is also important when you deal with your own ego and feeling of importance. You gotta know how to remind yourself and humble your own self. When you're at the top, when you're the best out of best, guess what? Even let's say you're best, like I'm the best boxer in the world at that point. Like, I'm in the reality where I'm the best, let's say flyweight female boxer. Well, even if I manage to be like that my entire career, there's always high likelihood that someone's going to appear younger and better, more evolved than I am. But at some point, even it's just like my age factor going to play a role. So, having that illusion and like being stuck on this idea of greatness, that you're absolutely the greatest, there is no point. You can be greatest in your own sense. You can be the greatest human being, one of the greatest human beings out there in your own sense, by acknowledging that there are other people can be better than you. There's nothing wrong with that. You actually ideally would want to surround yourself with people like that and make them your friends. So, yeah, I mean, I talked a lot about it, but this is today's topic, feeling of importance. So that's why I'm focusing on it quite a lot. So I'm going to scroll up all the way up now. This is how real women act. She is real. People not used to women like this. As I said, not in social media. I think there is a major shift when it comes to the social media presences. A lot of new people that I see, they're coming up and they're very good, very intelligent, very smart, women as well. But good women and good men, they are out there. There are quite many of them. They're just busy taking care of their families, doing the work. They're busy with their lives, you know. They don't have time for the social media nonsense. And the ones that coming up in the social medias and like platforms like YouTube, like I don't do TikTok. I don't like TikTok. A lot of people say that you should do it, and maybe at some point, if my YouTube is big, if I can afford, for example, someone managing my social medias, maybe yes. But like when it comes to me, I don't really like that much of the other social medias. YouTube is like my favorite one, and even there, trying to talk about a little bit more important things, in my opinion. Daniel says, I'm sturdy and I think fairly smart, but I've stayed to try to learn something from her. Well, I appreciate it, and that indicates that I'm younger than you. I'm 25 years old, but the fact that you say that, it indicates that you're ready to learn from whoever, even if it's someone younger than you. And that is very healthy, one of the healthy, how to say that? Those are ways how to self-humble yourself at times, you know? And that makes you even more superior, even more attractive, even more respectable human being, and even more decent human being, because, and I can relate to that. I myself, I'm 25 years old. So there, obviously I learned from a lot of people who are older than me, more experienced, like even from my husband. He's older than me, he's been in more places, he experienced more things, and I'm always willing to learn a lot of things from him. And I don't think there is anything wrong. Like, you're blessed if you can do that within your close circle, from your friends, from your relationships. If you can constantly be in an environment that you always learn new things, that's amazing. But I also learned a lot of things from children. When I used to work with, I used to do some children groups when I worked in the studio back in Georgia, and I was learning some things from them. Sometimes they would say something that, maybe that's something that I knew already, but that was a great reminder. So kids, someone younger, it doesn't matter. You can learn from anyone. And you should be open to learn from everyone. So I appreciate it, Daniel. Thank you very much. I never understand to people being mean to others. It drains me to be mean. Yeah, I mean it's also natural. Like somehow. That is also, I think it comes from the primary instincts that if we see someone, obviously now it's in an intellectual level, we just don't like someone innocent being bullied. We just don't like it. But from when back then, I think it would come from the feeling that we need to protect weaker. And some animal species has that tendency. They don't give up on the weaker elements of the tribe. They actually take care of them. There is like proofs, archaeological proofs that early humans actually would take care of the elderlies, and like, you know, it wasn't just, okay, you're old and useless now, you gotta go. So I guess now in a modern sense, you know, feeling that way, that you don't tolerate someone bullying someone innocent, someone weaker, and you want to step up and protect them. That is also coming from some of the primary elements, like, you know, that's and it feels good as well. We gotta be honest, you know, when you do something, let's call it a heroic act, you protect someone, you do something that is, you know, can be a little heroic act, and put you in this situation of the hero in this environment, it feels good. It feels exceptional. Okay, guys, it's so good that you're engaging, and I appreciate you very much. Just I gotta scroll up a little bit. Yeah, Chris says we're gonna be Kuwait end of August for a month, and Georgian, and if all visa things are sorted, maybe US. Let's see. Well, let's see. Fingers crossed. Georgian country needs to support its rich history and honor strong men and women. I hope the country understands how important culture is. Well, Georgians are quite eager when it comes to the culture, when the language. In Georgian, we have the saying "Ena mamuli sartsmonoeva." So it means "Ena" is language, "Mamuli" is motherland, "Sartsmonoeva" is religion. And first one is language. Above the motherland and above the Christianity as the main religion, the language comes first. And that was like one of the key aspects, language, everything related to language. If someone tried to destroy it, take it away, take that identity from us, it never happened. Fortunately, we preserved our language perfectly well, and this is why we survived as the nationality and as the identity. Smart and beautiful. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the good words and the compliments. It's okay, guys. I appreciate all the compliments and the admiration, and I admire you back too, especially when people resonate with me. They put their experience out there, talk about important things. I adore you as well, and me and my husband trying to build up a community here. So long term is build up a community of people who just can take the positive stuff and be real, but also be strong, resilient, being able to face hardships, at the same time being able to build up good relationships, being forgiving and empathic, but also manage to stand their ground. And you gotta find the balance everywhere. So we're trying to build that kind of community, guys. And you're helping with that, so it's very, very appreciated. Hello to country Georgia. Well, let's not call it Stalin's country. It's Stalin. Yeah, Stalin is from Georgia, from a city named Gori. It's like 1 hour from the capital city that I'm from, Tbilisi. They still have the Stalin's monument, and a lot of Gori people. Georgians, because Georgia is a small country, a lot of Georgians outside of Tbilisi don't really speak English. Even Russian. Some of them, in best case, speak Russian too, but a lot of them don't speak English. And as a small country, like Stalin is one of the biggest figures, very big historical figures. Not very positive one, but they actually proud of him because they know the twisted side of the history. That was taught by in Soviet Union, even now in Russia, I guess. That's interesting. People still, some of the older generations who are not really aware of the real history of the general history. They think that it's like they're proud of Stalin. I think we have more people now to be proud of. Even Mirab, Ilya, Levan, Saginashvili, Lasha Talafazin, people in sports. There are some people in the music and design and some other fields as well. There's quite a lot of Georgian, not a lot, but there's some Georgians who managed to get scholarships. Young girls and boys who got the scholarships to U.S. universities and European universities. There's so much good. There's so many people who we are proud of that are from Georgia. Yes, propaganda has ruined history to this day. But there always was propaganda, always had to be, because it's, again, back to the feeling of importance. Political figures, the royalties, they had to. What did they have to? They have to create the image of strong, powerful, for women, beautiful, superior, let's call it that way. So they had to be almost godlike. Because in the monarchy, that's how it was, especially in the Western. I'm more implying on the Western medieval period, that part of history. Even at that point, all this art we have, that was just pieces of propaganda. That's why we know that, like from some sources, we know that they were not that pretty, that good looking. Like they had like diseases, they suffered from horrible stuff in that period. But in those portraits, they would look, because that was like basically a portfolio, a profile, and those cards been sent to other royalties from the other countries. So that was like a big part of the diplomatical games and the power games. And well, you probably know that one of the biggest propaganda master of like the new level of propaganda was the Goebbels propaganda from Goebbels was one of the closest people to Hitler, and some of his scripts and his books been used in the Soviet Union as well. How to manipulate people, how to influence them, how to make them believe things, what people's ear like to hear, what they don't like to hear, all that kind of stuff. And now it works until nowadays, and we got internet and finally got social media. This is how like informational war became like a new field. And but the concept didn't change. Every side tries to portray them as a better, as more superior, as more virtuous than the opposite side. Despite being true, that there can be a conflict within the countries, and one country is like definitely on the wrong side, another one is definitely on the victim side. But I'm just talking about propaganda. So informational war propaganda works that way. You just want to pull the people on your side. That's how it works. I'm so glad you're a confident married woman. Awesomeness. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, it's. I think that back to propaganda, and I'll tie up to that point I want to make. We got to the point that a social propaganda and not political propaganda, but specifically focusing on our lifestyles, on the way how we behave, the trends and the fashion. It became like a fashionable and at least in the Western world, as I see. But I think it's shifting back to more, some of the more conservative values. Which I'm not saying you gotta adapt all the same conservatives the way it used to be. That's just not how evolution works. But you gotta have, you gotta take something that works. You gotta take and adapt things that work, and then try to some new ways and new visions to it. But essentially, yeah, like how much it worked, and even in Georgia, even for me, like coming from this dysfunctional family, when at that point my father wasn't at the good point, and now we are very good with my father, and actually getting the support and love. Like I really rebuilt my relationship with my father. But at that point, I was also lying under it, because I was seeing so much weak men. I was seeing so much aggressive, so much violent men, but they were weak, and that was building resentment. Just fortunately, I was in the sports for many years, and because I met so many amazing men who helped me to train, stood by my side, and for whatever reason, rather like me, but they were being perfectly respectful, very, very genuine. And I wouldn't be here at that point when it comes to boxing and training if not them. So that helped me to not get into that hatred towards men. But I can tell you that how the social media works, how the popular culture works, it's kind of like if you really hear into those messages, so like it's so easy to ruin, make people hate certain groups of people and certain gender and all that kind of stuff. And in reality, I came to the conclusion that we cannot be without each other. We gotta work together. Men and women have to love, respect each other, acknowledge each other, and just do the work together. That's the only way it works. And take the roles that are efficient. If I'm good at something, I'm not going to try to do something else. I'm going to do something that I'm good at, because it's going to be useful for me, but also for the community I'm in. And same for the men, right? That's why there are certain natural roles you're leading into. It doesn't have to be 100% that strict, but it was like in Norway. Norway is one of the most liberal countries out there, and one of the richest countries. And they had a program or experiment about, no stereotypes, nothing, no judgment. Everyone can choose any type of education and profession. And still, most of women went to nursing, most of men went engineering. And I think Jordan Peterson said very well, most of men are interested more, not only, but more in things, and most of women are interested more in people. And I think that's been generally one of the most truthful things that I ever heard, because when I apply to my lifestyle and seeing just random people, how it works, that's what I see. Guys like things, women like people, understanding their emotions, psychology, all that kind of stuff. And guys like figuring out money, finances, crypto, building up the things, even have hobbies somewhere around that. It doesn't have to be that strict. I like a lot of things. I like learning a lot of things myself, and I like a lot of wood carving. I love when it comes to the creating with my own hands. I like to do those things too, meaning that I'm not strictly going under that blueprint, but I'm just talking generalizing. It just feels that way. You're a feminist? No, I'm not. Definitely not. I'm not gonna label myself as that, because being feminist, meaning that, it's called as female liberation and stuff. And obviously, we got to the point, okay, there's history, and some events happen for many reasons, and it lays heavily on the industry and money and trying to execute a human force. So a lot of things happened the way they happened. But we have the same social rights. We can have our bank account, our own income. We can travel on our own. That doesn't sound like a bad life. And for a woman, I think that's the best life to live in. Genuinely. And not for a woman only, for a man, for everyone. The medical care, the safety, the ability to travel, it's still the best time out of ever to be alive in. But at the same time, you're okay, to this modern concept of what the women are, the victimhood. Basically, it's not even liberating anything. It's just putting yourself into victim's position, crying, moaning, being privileged, being entitled, losing any sense of resilience, any sense of responsibility and accountability to others. As a woman, I can imagine how I would be, if I'm married, I'm already accountable towards my husband. I'm not going to do something to embarrass him, embarrass myself, my family. When we have children, the children become first. Things like doing OnlyFans when you have a child, for example. This is something that is, people say that, it's it's her choice, whatever. No, it doesn't work that way, guys. It's very evil. And I think that's why a lot of women who are not necessarily strict conservatives, but they're also, they cannot identify themselves, they cannot resonate themselves with those ugly values. Do whatever you want. It doesn't work. Every action has its consequence. Every action and reaction has equal and opposite reaction. nothing comes and goes in this world, in this universe, without completely disappearing. So I might ranting a little bit, but that's why I essentially came to the conclusion that identifying yourself to a certain group is already a wrong way to think. I rather say that I can agree with this thing. Like, there's so many things I can agree with liberals, with conservatives, with this and that. There's so many things, like, not so many, but there's always a certain thing that we can, like, I say, you know what, I agree with that, or agree with that to a certain extent, and actually have a conversation about it. And when it comes to my personal system of belief, I can take it and take those different values and philosophies and quotes and just put it something, create my own blueprint and navigate through it. And when when someone would ask you, "Oh, are you feminist?" It's hard. No, I'm not feminist. I'm not conservative. Clearly, I'm not liberal. I'm not anything exactly, because it's just it's too labeling. It's just putting a label on yourself, and that is an opposite of free thinking and critical thinking and common sense. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna read up a little bit. You just dodged my chat. Scroll up, Scarlett. Well, let me see. Okay. Okay, we've been spoon-fed about history by those winners who ruled in the past. Well, absolutely true, and we still are getting spoon-fed. It's just certain. There is a very limited information we can dig up, even nowadays. That's the easiest time to get any information, but it's so saturated, and filter it, what is true, what is wrong, what is half true, what is half wrong. This is why we're gonna have to practice. We should practice logical thinking, critical thinking, common sense, finding a certain, not only based on facts, not only take facts as the facts, but also try to create the parallels and the chain of the events to actually being able even to predict the possibilities, what could happen in the future out of the certain event. For me, this is how I try to do it. I'm just a girl on YouTube. I mean, obviously, I'm not having that expertise as some other people would have. But in general, whatever information I possess in my life, whatever I learn, that's my approach. This is how I try to essentially make conclusions and use that information and navigate in life. Where are you from, ma'am? I'm from Georgia, the country, the Tbilisi. Then she must be Ilya Topur's childhood friend. Ilya didn't live that much in Georgia. He lived from 7 to 15, and they lived in Rustavi, which is half an hour from Georgia. And actually, again, I know some people. Once my friend, one of my best friends, she was I was telling her about YouTube, and she's like, "Oh, do you want me to put you with some celebrities?" She knows some Georgian celebrities and some others too. Somehow, she's works in the British Embassy and knows quite a lot of people. And I said, no, Georgian, thank you. I'd rather be not that famous in Georgia and just do English type of content. And she said, well, do you want me to put you in contact with Ilya Topuria? And I was like, how do you imagine that? And she's like, oh, my another bestie is his cousin. I'm like, of course, freaking Georgia is so fucking tiny. So, there is someone who knows someone and knows Ilya Topuria. I don't believe that would happen that way. I think he's quite... I think it would be easier to get to Mirab that way rather than to Ilya. I think he's quite narrow in his circle, but it was just a funny experience. My friend, one of my best friends telling me, oh, my bestie is his cousin. Hi Tripto, hope you're doing well. Long time no see. Okay, slide, training time. Go ahead, go do your training. I'm also gonna go in a bit because I have to do some personal training online. I do personal trainings. And yeah, I'm gonna hop out around in a few minutes. How tall are you and how much do you weigh? I'm 161 centimeters or 5'2" feet. And I am 54 kgs currently, but I'm trying to get down to 52, 51, so be somewhere around in a flyweight in the boxing. Hi Portugal, hope you're doing well, guys. Thank you again, thank you very much for being here, appreciate you a lot. How much hours boxers sleep? Should sleep like your average human being, just because they also train more, maybe a little bit longer at times, but the optimal is 8 hours optimal, few REM cycles during that time, and not only the length of the sleep, but also the quality of the sleep. So I'm still having my coconut. I didn't even drink it that much during the entire stream. Okay, a minute of peace. Feel free to ask questions while I'm still here, because I'm going to go myself in 5 minutes, and I'm going to drink coconut in the meantime. So refreshing. One second, I'm just gonna check something quickly. Okay, all is good. But anyways, guys, well, this stream technically originally was about feeling of the importance. Tell me where you get your feeling of importance from, and I'll tell you what you are. It's a very, very powerful word, because in reality, we all want to feel important. We all want to feel acknowledged, sometimes great. We definitely want to belong somewhere. And it's about how we choose to get that feeling wired, what ways we choose to use. Do you do MMA? No, I don't do MMA specifically. I do boxing, but I watch MMA. I trained a little bit of MMA, but more like other MMA fighters teaching me how to do, and I attended to some MMA classes. I never fought in MMA, and never really looking forward to do that. At least not at that stage for sure. And I don't think so. It's like, it's so much work. You gotta take like 1 or 2 years of your life, like add up. Like I have boxing, but I would have to add up the lower part of the striking, knees, elbows, grappling, wrestling, all of that kind of stuff. So it's quite a lot of work. Can you jab like boom? Yeah, just a sitting jab. But if you really want to see how I do boxing, check out the older live streams. There are some boxing themed live streams, and there I explain things like boxing basics or boxing from scratch, heavy back training, shadow boxing, all that kind of stuff. I get my importance from my wife. The future we can create is motivating. Yeah, absolutely. That's the very beautiful words you said. Sly ghostish, sly ghostish. That's very sweet of you, and you seem to be blessed, and your wife is definitely is blessed by having you as well, and I'm glad you're having each other. And I wish you the best of luck and a lot of blessings to keep building what you're building together. That is quite an exciting journey. So I wish you to do that for a very, very long time together. We think we're similar families, everything, especially when you come from a broken one. Yes, both me and Chris come from broken families, and we both said never again. Like for us, the way how we look at it, we look at it with a very responsible way. And yeah, I was talking a lot about the a lot about the feeling of importance from helping others. That's just the general, the essence of it. Both me and my husband do that, but from each other as well. Being able, sometimes I think that I managed to pull out that man. That he's good looking, he's very strong, very unique. Did some stuff that a lot of people in the life never done, like extreme sports, base suit flying. So, but also having an amazing heart, discipline, makes me laugh, makes me happy. And sometimes I think that makes me feel important to certain, because I have someone like that, and I have to have something good in me to be able to have someone like him. So that also feeds your feeling of importance, and that's a good way. I think that's a good way, because that is a direct compliment and direct tribute to your spouse as well. I hope he feels the same about me too. We're also working hard parallel to build our future. Yeah, that's true. Do you often find men in boxing? No, only for light sparrings. I had some couple open ring experiences, but I was 15 and that boy was 13, but he was taller than me already, and he got very angry because there were no pairs, and they put him with a girl, but I outboxed him and he started getting furious in the ring. I had one case like that, but apart from that, no, nothing like that, especially when you are already grown man, grown woman, your bodies are so different. However, it's very useful to do technical sparring and combination and work on certain things with a professional, good male boxers who know how to control their power, their force, and they know how to work with you. That can be very, very helpful for development. Will you go into the UFC? As I said, I'm not planning to. Have you tried sword fighting? Oh, no, not exactly. That's crazy. You're really inspirational, and the way you speak is very captivating. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And somehow on the live streams, it's easier to talk that way rather than on the videos. Someone said in my comments in the YouTube videos that your videos are boring. And I don't necessarily disagree with him because especially on the beginning of my YouTube videos, I was I had to repeat the same sentence over and over again, and I would start, my tongue would start slipping, and couldn't say the same thing many times. When it's on live streaming, it becomes so organic. I don't know, it feels way more organic, and I'm glad that I'm able to communicate with you firsthand. That's why I think I'm focusing more on the live streaming now, but also working on the horizontal type of content, the long videos. And I think live streaming experience now, so far, helped me to get even more comfortable in front of camera this way. So I think it's my video is also gonna get better. But I appreciate you, AYO. Thank you very much. What are your social handles? You deserve a follow. Chris says, my husband says, all links are in the channel description. Yes, and obviously this is my YouTube. You can check out my YouTube. Everything else, there is Instagram. And I think there's some other links too, and you can check it out. But guys, I'm gonna check out time, and I actually gotta go now. Thank you very much for engaging, for being here. I think it was quite a good talk about feeling of importance. We all want to feel important. That's completely normal. But the way how we choose the source that gives us that feeling of importance, that's what matters. Don't stick on the lower vibrations by being happy about someone successful falling down, being jealous of others, or anything like that. Try to get that sources of the feeling important from the higher levels, from the higher stages, and for that, just work on yourself. Do your best to develop, train, study, surround yourself with the good, smart, intelligent people, and don't be too harsh on yourself. Sometimes you try to do your best, but your ego still hurts because you aim for to be best out of best. But just accept and embrace that idea that someone's always going to be. There's going to be always someone who is better than you. It's all right, and it's actually good, because if you actually get to the point that you embrace that thought, and everything becomes you become the main point of everything you're doing, you become even more powerful. I think you become even more self-aware. So let's stay positive, guys. Thank you very much for being here one more time. You have a Biscuit. You have a great day too. All of you have a great day, and I'll spar my husband. You will laugh your asses if you see what is our size difference. We might do it just for fun, just for you to see that, but you're gonna laugh quite hard. But anyways, no, you're not twice my. You're about twice my weight. I thought he said twice my height, and he's teasing me for my height, but he's not that much taller. Anyways, guys, thank you very much, and I see you in the next live stream.